Hey guys, so reveals and stuff for Legends Festival 2024 Part 2 has officially been announced. It is going to be this Tuesday at 11 p.m. my time, Japan time, and in the US Eastern time, it should be that morning, so morning of Tuesday. It'll be standard time for when we typically have these reveals here. So last year, we had Goku and Bardock release for Part 2 of Legends Festival. 6th anniversary, we of course got Ultimate Gohan from the Buu Saga and Green God Goku. So they went from doing a game originals solo banner in Legends Fest last year to the 6th anniversary giving us 2 non-game original characters. So at the very least, I would say that whether or not they want to mix and match, maybe like a game original or a non-game and a non-game original character, I think we should expect to get 2 banners. It would definitely feel like a massive downgrade, especially considering the morale, I think, right now in this game. I think most people are not super content with how they did Part 1. So it would be an extra punch to the gut if they did go ahead and only give us 1 banner for Part 2. So I am hoping it is some kind of double banner here. We'll see what exactly the format is going to be, but we need 2 banners. Otherwise, it's going to feel really, really bad. All right, so let's see what they say here. Reveals and stuff. Legends Festival 2024 Special Edition Part 2 is coming. There's a big reveal right at the start. This show will be jam-packed with the latest info about the ongoing Legends Festival 2024. Watch the whole way through and make sure you don't miss a single moment. So the last time they did this was actually for Ultra Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta. Do I think this means there's going to be an Ultra character? No, I don't think that means that. Is it possible? I guess. We've never seen it before. We've only ever gotten Ultras to be the finale of these major celebrations, Part 3. So until they change that pattern, I don't really see a reason to think that they would do that in Part 2. But am I going to say there's a 0% chance? No, there's always like a 1, 2, 3% chance that could happen, but I would not count on that. But looks like we are going to be getting at least one of the characters revealed right at the start, assuming there's going to be multiple characters revealed here. Standard description here and everything. Okay, so yeah, this is essentially just the post that they made in the news section, so you can go in-game and actually view this in the news. Now, there was actually a social media... I'm actually really glad that I waited to record this until today. I'm recording this on Saturday the 7th, December 7th. There actually was a social media post where there does definitely seem to be a teaser at what we could potentially be seeing here. So let's go ahead and take a look at this. So this is the actual post. Info reveal in 3 days. The premiere is coming soon with a big reveal right at the start. Be sure to watch until the very end. Days to reveal in 3 days, and then there's a 3-star Dragon Ball here. I'm not sure if this is going to be a countdown to the actual reveal or if they're just going to be posting this 3 days away. My guess is there's also going to be a 2 days away and 1 day away countdown, and there's going to be the 3-star Dragon Ball on this one, the 2-star Dragon Ball on the one tomorrow, and then 1 day away it's going to be the 1-star Dragon Ball. Now, why is this significant? Well, 2 things. Number 1, the background colors are very Daima-esque. Let me actually pull up the Daima logo so I can just show you guys exactly what I'm talking about. Okay, so here is the Dragon Ball Daima logo, and you can definitely tell the colors here are... I mean, this is done on purpose, right? They didn't just pick 2 random colors and gradient them together here for no reason. I mean, this is... can we just say it's confirmed that there's going to be some Daima-related stuff dropping in Part 2? And then on top of that, the second thing is that this Dragon Ball, it's kind of interesting that they're starting the countdown with the 3-star Dragon Ball. If you guys been watching Daima, following Daima, there's not going to be... I'm not going to do any major spoilers here. Actually, I guess I will just give a slight spoiler warning for Daima. If you have not watched episode 8 through episode 8 of Daima, just be wary. There might be some spoilers in this video because I think it's relevant to discuss this because I think it could have an impact on what we might see here. If you guys remember, so there's only 3 Dragon Balls in the Demon Realm. There's the 3-star Dragon Ball in the 3rd Demon Realm. There's the 2-star Dragon Ball in the 2nd Demon Realm. And there is the 1-star Dragon Ball in the 1st Demon Realm. And each of those Dragon Balls are guarded by a Tamagami. So the Tamagami are kind of... I don't even... what's the best way? They're like mechanical constructs that are tasked with guarding the 3 Dragon Balls of the Demon Realm, and anybody can go up to them and challenge them at any time for the Dragon Ball. So in episode 8 of Dragon Ball Daima, if you guys watched it, Goku challenged Tamagami number 3, who is the guardian of the 3-star Dragon Ball in the 3rd Demon Realm, to a fight. Obviously, part of the quest that they're on is to gain access to the 3 Dragon Balls in the Demon Realm. Goku does fight against Tamagami number 3, and he defeats Tamagami number 3, and he obtains the 3-star Dragon Ball. I think that is probably what is going to be one part of part 2 here. I don't know exactly how to feel about this. I think obviously Daima being the current ongoing anime series definitely makes a lot of sense. It's the newest thing. Like I said many times at this point, I don't think they're going to be treating Daima like Superhero, where we are going to be waiting months and months and months for new Daima stuff. We already have 2 banners in game that feature characters from Daima. We have 2 mini Gokus, and then we have Glorio on the second banner as well. So they're very clearly, they very clearly have advanced knowledge and information on what was going to be coming from Daima, as opposed to Superhero, which, I mean, it took them months to get us Beast. So, I mean, and then take a look at some of the other games too. It took every single game, it took them months, and in some cases years, to get us stuff from Superhero into every single Dragon Ball game. So there is a difference in the way that this information is being handled amongst like Toei and Shueisha, and how they're distributing that information to the Bandai and the developers of these games here. So Daima, they're very much being more, I think, forthcoming with providing that information. So they have been able to seemingly develop characters from Daima and implement them into these games a lot quicker than they did for Superhero. So it is conceivable, I think, that we could be certainly seeing some Daima stuff for part 2, and that does indeed look like it is going to be the case. So I think, again, I really do hope this ends up being 2 banners. I think it is pretty safe to assume that one of those 2 banners is probably going to be focused around Dragon Ball Daima. So what could we actually see on the Dragon Ball Daima banner? Like I said, the Goku versus Tamagami number 3 fight definitely makes the most sense to me. I guess it would probably just end up being an LF and a sparking, like 1 LF and 1 sparking on the banner. So if you guys watch the fight between Goku and Tamagami number 3, Goku does end up going from base to Super Saiyan, and then he actually very briefly goes Super Saiyan 2 to finish the fight off. So I actually don't know what they would do for that. I guess what they could probably do, I don't know if they would make another base Goku. This would be if they wanted to make him a transforming like base Goku to Super Saiyan Goku, this would literally be the 3rd summonable base Goku from Daima already. I don't know. I'm thinking they just don't make him a transforming character. I think maybe they just have him start a Super Saiyan, and then in the LF animation, they could have him go Super Saiyan 2. That's what I'm thinking. Right? Goku does a Kamehameha, essentially, to finish off Tamagami number 3. He does the Kamehameha. He goes Super Saiyan 2 sort of while he's charging the Kamehameha up. And then he actually finishes off the Tamagami number 3 with an elbow to the stomach, like sort of following up the Kamehameha. So that would probably be his LF animation, I would assume. And then the 1% sparking banner unit, I guess it would just come down to whether or not they could actually get Tamagami number 3 into the game. We've seen some issues prior with Legends and like gigantic, huge characters, massive characters. We don't have a playable Cell Max in the game. We don't have a playable giant Great Ape in the game. We don't have a playable Harudegarn in the game. Stuff like that. Like, we don't have Dr. Wheelo in the game. We don't have like Giant Lord Slug or Giant Piccolo from the 23rd World Tournament. So there's a lot of missed opportunities, I think, that Legends has had over the years because they just can't figure out a way to get playable giant characters into the game. So I don't know if that's really going to be the case for Tamagami number 3. I think, like, if we take a look at some of the existing characters that are in the game, who is like the biggest character in the game? Is it Fusion Zamasu? It might be this Fusion Zamasu still. This half-corrupted Fusion Zamasu. He's pretty big. It's like him. Topo is pretty big. I don't know if there's like no way to like sort by which character models are the biggest. Topo is pretty. I remember when they first released Topo, they actually had to zoom the camera out a little bit. If you compare footage of Dragon Ball Legends, when it was Blue Topo was the first Topo they introduced into the game. Pre-Blue Topo release versus post-Blue Topo release, I believe they actually did zoom the camera out a little bit when they introduced Blue Topo into the game because he was just very big. No one else really comes to mind here in terms of just like really big characters. Actually, Rage Shenron is pretty big too. But I think probably Fusion Zamasu is the biggest. Like you could even tell that there's some wonkiness with Fusion Zamasu too, because when Fusion Zamasu goes for his blast cards, a lot of times his hand will actually go through the models of the opponent. That's how big he is. So is Tamagami number 3 like bigger than Fusion Zamasu? They're probably around the same size, but remember, Tamagami number 3 has a giant hammer. He's kind of like Thor. He can like control his hammer remotely almost. So I don't know. I think if we don't end up getting Tamagami number 3, that would probably indicate to me that he's probably just too big of a character to implement. I don't know. But if they're not going to be doing Tamagami number 3, who else would they give us? We also did have, I believe it was episode 6. I think episode 6 was Goku's fight against Glorio. It was either 6 or 7. Goku fights against Glorio. It's more of like a glorified sparring session. That's actually the first time where we truly see Goku go Super Saiyan in Daima. He does do instant transmission, and we actually do see Glorio use some interesting moves as well. He goes for like this lightning attack. It's kind of reminds me of like Star Wars Force Lightning, almost. It's like this purple/pink lightning attack that he does. So obviously, with the Glorio character that we have in the game right now, we don't have he doesn't do those attacks. And I assume they could just do almost a rehash of that banner, where instead of base Goku and Glorio, it's Super Saiyan Goku and Glorio who does like the demon lightning attacks. But that would kind of seem a little bit redundant because we just got that banner essentially, right? But anyway, there's a few options here for a Daima banner. It'll also depend on how many characters they want to drop with it, and it'll depend on if we actually do end up getting 2 banners or not. And then when it comes to the other banner, again, I'm just going to assume that we're getting 2 banners, because if we don't, then it is really, really bad. For the other banner, it's really hard to guess. When it comes to part 2s of major celebrations, there's not like a very clear-cut answer in terms of how we can predict what's going to come out. God Goku and Ultimate Go On for part 2 of the 6th anniversary. I mean, there were maybe 1 or 2 hints there. Goku and Bardock for last year's part 2. Remember, we got that specific. It was the the special event they released. I believe it's permanently available now in game, but it was like the story event for Goku and Bardock. I would be very shocked if we didn't get some kind of game original character. Remember, the only summonable game originals character we ever got was Goku and Bardock, who came out a year ago. So if we don't end up getting a game originals character here, at that point, I'm just going to assume that they've discontinued the game original summonable character, like, mechanic, or I don't know if you want to call it a mechanic, but they discontinued that idea of releasing game original characters, because why would they make us wait an entire year and then not do another one? It doesn't make any sense to me. So we'll end up seeing if that's the case. Again, it could be like a game original banner and then just a normal LF banner for a Daima character. Not exactly sure, but at the end of the day, what I can say for sure is I really, really do want them to give us 2 banners for part 2, because it would just feel like a massive step down from the anniversary, on top of considering how not well received part 1 of this Legends Festival has been. And then the other thing to talk about as well, and this is actually probably going to be something that I'm going to be bringing up constantly now, because we have reached the point where it's just lunacy now. This is probably going to be who I put on the thumbnail, by the way. But we really, really, really need to see this guy Zenkai Awaken. I don't know if it's going to be during part 2, but if this guy does not Zenkai Awaken by the end of this Legends Festival, they're doing something wrong. I mean, why wait this long? I would actually say that this is probably the most wanted thing in the game. I would go as far as to say that there would probably be just as much hype surrounding this guy's Zenkai Awakening as there would for like an Ultra UI Goku release. Like, I think they'd probably be around the same level of hype. They've really made us wait that long for this guy's Zenkai. It's kind of funny because it reminds me of before this guy dropped, we were waiting for a Blue Gogeta to be added to the game for like 2 years. It was literally like 2 years because the Broly movie dropped. They finally gave us this. So I don't really know if there would necessarily be something that they would need to tie into this. I was thinking maybe they could do like a part 3 Ultra Dragon Ball Super Broly just so that they could Zenkai this guy and tie that in there. We also potentially, again, I will bring this up again because again, Game Originals Dual Broly, a tag Z Broly and Super Broly, and then that would have some relation to a potential Zenkai for this Blue Gogeta, but they don't really need a character that like oh my god, you must have like you must have the theme match up with this Gogeta to give him a Zenkai. No, you don't. This is a character where you can just Zenkai him whenever you want during one of these major celebrations, and people will go crazy. You don't have to pinpoint, oh, well, we need to release a Dragon Ball Super Broly movie character to Zenkai. No, you don't. Okay, you don't. Trust me, you don't. We ended up getting that green Trunks Zenkai. I mean, it does actually kind of make a little bit more sense now that we know that it looks like Daima's going to be part 2. Remember that Trunks is technically a weapon wielder character, but it really doesn't make a lot of sense. Even if that were the case, it still wouldn't make a lot of sense that he was Zenkai buffing hybrids, but whatever. So again, it's really impossible to say what we get for part 2. We have been getting some Vegeta clan buffs. Maybe they could do some kind of Game Original Vegeta character. I've seen some people throw out the father-son Final Flash what-if scenario from Sparking Zero, where Vegeta and Trunks do the Final Flash, father-son Final Flash against Cell at the Cell games. That could be interesting. I've seen some people throw out potentially doing like a Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta. What if Vegeta went Super Saiyan 3 against Kid Buu during the fight on the World of the Kais? That could be interesting. There's a lot of different things they could do for Game Original What If characters. One that comes to mind for me, because I'm just a fan of the Namek Saga, what if they did that? This once again was a scenario in Sparking Zero. What if Vegeta went Super Saiyan on Namek? And I actually remember talking about this last year. We had the Goku and Bardock Game Originals character last year, but before we knew that was going to be the character, they had like the Namek event, but it was like a question mark. So some people were thinking like, oh, what if they do a Super Saiyan Vegeta on Namek? I think I even talked about that a little bit last year. That would be cool. I would like that actually. But I think the Game Originals, it would be such a shame if they just discontinued the idea of doing Game Original characters because there's so much potential there. They have so many different situations they could pull from and say, okay, what if this happened or what if that happened? And now with Sparking Zero out, I guess essentially putting a lot of these ideas out there for them to just take and borrow. That's a lot of free stuff they could just take and use for Legends too. So there's a lot of options here for part 2. I can't really go through all of them, but at least it does appear that Daima will have some involvement here. But let me know what you think. Again, I will just end. I am going to keep driving this point home until we see what actual part 2 content is going to look like. But we really don't want to see one banner here. I mean, talk about a lackluster Legends Fest. I am clasping my hands together. Please just don't make it one banner. So let me know what you guys think. Let me know what you would want to see for part 2 of Legends Fest here. And I'll see you in the next one.